Well, the Chancellor inherited supposedly a black hole, and she's dug a crater into which public confidence is plunging. Business confidence is plunging.
Reform UK's Richard Tice confronts Rachel Reeves over public frustration with Labour policies. You're not going to believe what just happened in Westminster. During what was supposed to be a calm economic policy session, Reform UK's leader Richard Tice took centre stage, and within seconds, the atmosphere turned electric. Tice didn't hold back. He went straight for the Labour front bench, zeroing in on Rachel Reeves, the shadow chancellor, in a moment that's already making waves across the UK political scene. Now, this wasn't your typical polite exchange about budgets and balance sheets. No, this was raw, emotional, and unfiltered. With cameras rolling and MPs watching in stunned silence, Tice turned toward Reeves and said, with a steady voice but unmistakable frustration, "You've lost touch with ordinary people. They're tired. They're angry. They feel betrayed by the same empty promises over and over again." The room went quiet. Even Reeves seemed momentarily caught off guard. And in that silence, you could feel it. That tension that only happens when a politician says what millions have been thinking but few dare to say out loud. 4 months now, Richard Tice has been hammering home one message, that both Labour and the Conservatives have drifted too far from the concerns of everyday voters. And this time, he took it straight to Rachel Reeves herself, the woman widely tipped to become Britain's next Chancellor if Labour wins the next election. The exchange happened during a cross-party discussion on economic growth and cost of living pressures. Reeves had been defending Labour's fiscal plan, promising stability, fairness, and responsibility. But Tice wasn't buying it. He fired back, pointing to rising taxes, stagnant wages, and what he called a growing disconnection between Westminster's language and working-class reality. Then came the line that's now all over social media. He said calmly but cuttingly, "When you keep telling people they should feel grateful, when they're choosing between heating and eating, don't be surprised when the public turns away." You could almost hear the gasp in the room. Moments later, clips of the confrontation started spreading online. Within hours, #RichardTice was trending on X, formerly Twitter. One user wrote, "Finally, someone said it straight to their faces. The establishment's bubble just got popped." Another posted, "Tice speaks for the angry middle, not the elite, not the poor, just everyone who feels ignored." But of course, the backlash came just as fast. Labour supporters accused Tice of grandstanding. Some said it was just another publicity stunt, a made-for-camera rant designed to boost Reform UK's online traction. Still, even critics admitted that the moment hit a nerve. Political editor Beth Rigby called it a striking example of how Reform UK is exploiting voter fatigue with traditional politics. She added, "Tice's comments might sound harsh, but they reflect a growing frustration across Britain that neither of the main parties seems to really listen anymore." And honestly, she might be right. You don't have to look far to see why that frustration is boiling over. Inflation's still biting, mortgage rates are high, and wages haven't caught up in years. People are tired of being told to hold on a little longer, while the political class argues over who's to blame. That's the mood Tice was tapping into. Not hatred, not hostility, but exhaustion. A sense that politics has become theatre full of sound and fury, but short on solutions. And Rachel Reeves, despite her careful image as the calm and capable economist, found herself right in the middle of it. To her credit, she didn't shout back. When it was her turn to respond, she said firmly but measuredly, "People are frustrated, and I understand that. But shouting about problems doesn't fix them. Leadership means building solutions." It was a smart response, respectful, but with an undertone that suggested she wasn't about to be intimidated. Still, the damage or the impact, depending on how you see it, was already done. Reform UK supporters quickly turned the clip into a rallying cry. YouTube, TikTok, and even Facebook feeds were flooded with the moment. One viral caption read, "Richard Tice just told Rachel Reeves what millions are thinking, and she didn't deny it." Another simply said, "Reform's rise starts here." Political strategists say it's moments like this that give smaller parties oxygen, cutting through the noise of mainstream politics and capturing emotions that polls alone can't measure. And if you've been paying attention, you'll notice, Reform UK is slowly but steadily gaining ground. A recent survey by YouGov showed that nearly 20% of voters are now considering a switch away from both Labour and Conservative, many of them leaning toward reform. That's not enough to win a majority, of course, but it's enough to make the establishment nervous. One senior Conservative insider told The Telegraph, "If reform continues to pull energy from disillusioned voters, it could fracture the right-wing vote and reshape the next election entirely." Meanwhile, Labour insiders are reportedly brushing off the confrontation, saying Reeves handled it with class, and that Tice's comments won't distract from the real economic debate. But privately, a few admit the optics weren't ideal. One Labour aide was quoted as saying, "We can't afford to look out of touch, especially not on cost of living. That's the issue that'll decide this election." So where does that leave things? For Richard Tice, it's a win pure and simple. He's managed to dominate the headlines, energize his base, and spark a wider conversation about whether mainstream politics still connects with ordinary Britons. For Rachel Reeves, it's a test of resilience, a reminder that perception matters just as much as policy. Because in the age of viral clips and instant outrage, a single exchange can do more to shape public opinion than an entire manifesto. And for the rest of us, it's a glimpse into what's coming. A campaign season that's not just about economics or ideology, but about authenticity, frustration, and who can really claim to speak for the people. So, was Richard Tice out of line, or was he saying what millions quietly feel? One thing's certain, that exchange just drew a line in the sand between politics as usual and politics as people are living it right now.